Hey, how's it going? My name's Dividable Halo HD. Welcome back to another episode of Community Talk on the HaloClanFollowers channel. Today I am joined by the one and only Vinelli.
Hello.
I am also joined by Vermilion or Phoenix, whatever he likes to go by.
Hello.
I'm also joined by ShakeyBionic.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And we have Archivix for last. Nice intro. Alright, so we have a list of topics for today's Community Talk podcast, and we're going to start off with the first topic. So we're going to be talking about Halo 5 Guardians Forge. We're going to talk about how it's been delayed for these last 2 months, or for the next 2 months after its release. We're going to talk about raids and pretty much the presentation when it comes to raids for Forge. So we're going to start with Panther or Vinelli. What's your opinion on the upcoming Halo 5 Guardians Forge delay, the raids, and the presentation?
Okay, well, I think the Forge in general, from what we saw, was outstanding. I mean, it looked amazing. The fact that it's delayed, I mean, to be honest, I personally, even though I'm developing my own group, whatever, I'm not gonna let it stop me. I'm not gonna let it slow me down. I mean, it's just, you gotta adapt. It's that simple. You don't sit there and bitch about it, or I won't at least. I'm just gonna make it work. So it really doesn't affect me. It doesn't really bother me that much. I'm glad that at least we know it's gonna be done right, and it's gonna be done with the precision that they're aiming for. Not like Halo 4, where the game was just so god awful for custom games and multiplayer. At least we have some confidence that this is actually going to be something better than it was. As for raids, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what people come up with, and I think this delay is actually kind of a benefit for the community too, because now we can sit there and think about what we want to create for the future of the community that is raids. Do we want to try something different? If not, if so, this is the perfect time to sit down and talk about it. With a bunch of people here, we can sit down and say, hey, okay, we don't want to do the stupid shit that we did on Rage. We can do something different with Halo 5 with all this new content and have that conversation. But, yeah.
Alright, so what about the presentation? I believe Archivix was telling me earlier that or Archivix or Phoenix were talking about presentation as for new styles of raids or something like that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's been ideas for new raids, throughout the years. I mean, I've had some, other people in the community's had some. I mean, it's just, I know a lot of the stuff in the community is based, we want to generalize everything. We need to have a community rules that everybody needs to follow. I mean, to be honest, I completely disagree with that. If the, I don't know, let's go with the UN wants to fight the UUF, okay? We shouldn't sit there and make the rules that they have to follow. I mean, we should have basic guidelines, but that should be it. We shouldn't, tell them that they can't do this. It's the war between those two, and those two clan leaders should come to a conclusion what the rules of that war should be. They should have, third parties in there so that they can, have verification, some proof. But, I mean, overall, just be creative with it, We should aspire to do something more innovative rather than just trying to control everything into this one thing that we did on Reach, which is a game that's 5 years old. So I think we should try something different and aim for something more military based.
All right, so we're gonna move on to Phoenix. What's your opinion on Halo 5 Guardians Forge, the delay, the raids, and the presentation that you were also talking to me about?
Okay, yeah. So my opinion on the delay of the Forge system being pushed back 2 months after launch would be pretty much a good thing for the community. I feel that with them pushing it back 2 months, I think 343 pretty much wants to make sure that the Halo 5 is actually functional, not broken, as MCC was, versus, yeah, I totally fucked that up.
It's alright.
Can you edit it?
No.
No, you can't?
No.
Ah, shit, we're going to have to start over.
Aw, shit.
I'll be right back. Damn it.
Alright. We're just going to move on to ShakeyBionic.
Alright.
So...
Well...
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. I know the topic. So, just for starters of what I think about the delay. Personally, although I really love Forge, and I'm the type of kid that like I would skip the campaign and all the multiplayer, I'd go straight to Forge to see what I can do. Although I'm very sad about that, I think it will actually benefit militarized clans in the long run, not necessarily like the custom and forging community, but the militarized clans and UNSC clans, because they'll give clans in these next 2 months, they have more than enough time to build up their forces and all that kind of stuff, so they're able to do raids by the time Forge comes out, and I think in the long run it'll benefit clans. So what my clan is doing, we're gonna still do raid training, but we're gonna do it like on BTB maps, because there's gonna still be BTB maps at launch. So that's not really gonna stop us. But what was the next topic after that?
We were talking about like more of like the actual presentation for like raids.
Alright, when that comes down to it, personally, clans should just do what they want to do. There really shouldn't be, if they want to change, it's really up to the clan personally. Like myself, we're gonna be doing more fair raids by giving like the enemy like 4 raids and a couple ghosts and all that kind of stuff. And other than that, I kind of like raids where they are. I see that they're getting fair in the sense, like they're not like spawn killing anymore way back in the days. I just think they're starting to get more and more fair, and I just say we should stay on that road and see where it takes us. I really don't think we should put requirements on it, and then that's just gonna be, you're gonna have people not really doing it. I think we should just lead more by example and just kind of let it evolve.
Alright. Now, I believe what Archivex is not here right now. Yeah.
Actually, I am.
Oh, he is here. Alright, but I believe Archivex, you were like talking to Phoenix something about like this new kind of raid style, like doing something a lot more different than the actual common raid. Was that true?
Yeah, actually.
Do you want to explain that a bit?
Well, starting from, not being so generic here, I was thinking maybe we could take a more invasion-like approach with raids, like, Halo Reach game type, Invasion. That was a very popular game type, and it's unfortunate that we don't see anything like that anymore. However, I think we're able to manipulate that game type and put it into Halo 5, and perhaps even use it as a way to raid a clan, one another. And, of course, there's going to be that time where it's going to have your defending team, attacking team to make it fair and everything. 8v8. It's not going to be like a 6v6 or anything, obviously, but I guess from what I can gather from Invasion and, my experiences from that, I think we could be able to derive, I guess you could say, in a sense, the characteristics of that game type and put it into military clan raids. I guess that's where I was trying to approach exactly what we could do in terms of making raids better or different, and I just think that would be one of the ways to do it.
Alright. So, what's your opinion on the delay for the Halo 5 Guardians Forge?
God. I'm gonna be blunt here. I mean, it's not really something we should bitch at a constant. I mean, we have... because we have, backwards compatibility coming out in this November. I mean, it shouldn't be so much of a problem to wait an additional month for Halo 5 Forge to come out in a post-game update. I mean, we can go back and visit some of the greatest games we've played on a previous gen console, so why would we have to, complain about this coming out for one of the new games when, we're given the time to go back to other things? Like, there's always those memories to cherish from another game, and we're given that opportunity to do that whenever we like, out of our luxury. And, it's not something to really complain about anymore. I mean, get used to it. Nothing is going to revolve around you and your wants and your needs. So that is all I have to really say in terms of the delay. But I think it's well worth it in the waits, because if we're waiting this long, it's giving the developer more time to construct better things in terms of, well, of course, completing the game, but also making it better, enhancing the player's experience. That is my viewpoint on the delay.
Alright. So I'm just going to throw something in that I've heard across the community over these last couple, or ever since like they announced the delay for the Halo Forge. And anyone can answer this. Now, a lot of clans or a lot of people within the community have been talking about just staying on Reach till the actual Forge. What's everybody's input on that?
No.
My opinion, we can go a little bit more in depth instead of no, but I agree with that. It's more their opinion. I'm just saying clans that are on Halo 5 Guardians are gonna definitely have a better advantage. So I think if you want to make your clan really good on Halo 5 Guardians, that's definitely not the way to go. But more power to them. It's their clan and all that kind of stuff. But I know myself, we're just gonna adapt to Halo 5 Guardians, like Finale said. But yeah, just no. But more power to them if they want to.
All right. We're also going to talk about something when it comes to like new presentations or new game types, as Arcvex was talking about. Now, I believe Team TAC was introduced through Halo Reach. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Now, Team TAC is more of like a different style for raids. Like you basically you're relying on teamwork, so using ARs and all that, right? Now, that became a very popular game within the UNSC community and somewhat in the military community. So that was a game type that could potentially like lead to something like what Archivix was talking about, right?
For Team TAC? I mean, they
Like-
have that multiplayer game type in Halo 5.
All right then. Well, let's talk about like okay. So Team TAC was basically introduced into Halo Reach, and it was more of a custom games thing, right?
Yeah.
So it was basically created by a fan or like someone else, right?
Yes.
All right. So potentially we could have another game type that's introduced by a fan that's created on Halo 5,
Oh, yeah.
and it's more of like an objective thing, like Archivix was talking about.
Yeah, I don't understand what you're getting at though. Like
The presentation for like a new raid type potentially could be like maybe an actual objective kind of raid.
I think they should be, to be honest. It'd be more entertaining. It's better than
Actually,
just have- down.
I know for the viewers watching this, I'm not sure if you guys know, and I don't know too much on this topic, and I want to steal this guy's thunder. If you guys know a guy named Ricky Lane, he's on the MCC community leading a clan called Orta. Him and Shaky Savage have been developing something called, I think it's called Military Conquest or something like that. And pretty much it is a large-scale militarized BTB. Like if you guys ever played BTB Heavies on Halo Reach, it's pretty much that, but with like custom maps and all that kind of stuff. And like the kills can range to like 50,000 kills in order to win. And you'll still get your raid field like as a time, like it'll take 2 hours to win that match. But it's more of a BTB thing. You can do more strategy and all that kind of stuff. Like you're facing another general on the battlefield and you guys have equal amount of supplies. So that's what they're doing, and we actually tested it out. It was really fun, and if we get Ricky Lane on the show sometime, he might want to go more in depth on that. But that's just what a couple of the people
if
are
I
there
may
doing.
interrupt, did you say 50,000 kills?
Yeah, 50,000 kills.
That would be
That's an example, but it can range from 2,000
Okay.
and all that kind of stuff. Because I know
That-
there was a 40-hour raid between the Triad and Navcom.
Yeah,
and
I remember that.
So that can easily equal amount to 50,000 kills. So.
I was just going to say, interjecting to oppose 50,000 kills here, that would be a huge time waster. I mean, who would stay that long to,
Well,
get
I mean, you would
50,000
have
kills?
people you'd switching out because from what we know, there is joint session in progress.
Yeah,
so-
we do know that.
All right. Does anyone want to talk more about the Halo 5 Guardians Forge before we move on?
Well, if I may introduce the topic, I just want to say, if you compare it to any other Forge that has been existing through any Halo game, this is probably the best one yet. In my
I can second that.
Yeah.
And just the way I've seen it and some of the cool stuff that they've done and bringing in other forgers, like in our community, like Duquesne and all that kind of stuff into it, that is just, it's really cool to see that they're actually looking at the community and seeing what we're doing. Well, not necessarily our community, like the like the clan community, but they definitely hear us and all that kind of stuff. And I definitely think the Forge is going to be really good if we have community members in there telling them like what they should and what they shouldn't do.
All right, so this kind of brings me to another topic that I want to discuss since we're on the Forge. Now, Halo Reach, we had a lot more fortresses for when it comes to raids, right? And then when it moved on to Halo 4, there were a lot more smaller maps, so we had a lot more bridge maps for raiding anyways. Now that Halo 5 is going to be, it's going to have a lot of maps, what kind of maps do we actually know we have right now? Or like,
There's 3 of them that they talked about.
So those maps are big, right?
Yeah, I think they're pretty big.
All right. Now, what are your guys' opinions on like what kind of maps we're going to be seeing, like, or what kind of like raid maps we're going to be seeing?
Honestly, I think. Well, I want to say people are going to make more of sturdy structures and such, like castles, maybe. I mean, that's one thing I could see with such a landscape as this being put in the game.
Like
I really
fortresses.
think people could make something like a German castle or something. Do a raid on that.
Or Doomsday maps.
All right.
What?
What's a Doomsday map exactly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain? Okay, I guess not.
Okay.
It's like, nah.
All right. So I believe that's kind of it. What we have to talk about for the Halo 5 Guardians Forge. Now I believe we're gonna be moving on. All right.
Okay.
We all cool with that?
Yeah.
All right.
Yippers.
All right. For the next topic, we're gonna be talking about, I believe, the Halo 5 emblem / uniform / micro / uniforms unlocked, transactions, and much more. So we're gonna talk to Vinali first. Now, Vinali, what's your opinion on like the new, like with Halo 5 having like emblems, uniforms, unlocking stuff, and microtransactions?
Well, I mean, the emblems. I mean, have you guys seen the leaked images of all the emblems?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome. I mean, the fact that we have this whole new, selection to choose from. We can have more creative things. We can have more unique things to point towards more military. Like this is probably mainly for the military clans to have that ability to kind of reach out and try something different, a new look for themselves. For the UNSC, I mean, we kind of have that same grasp. I mean, the logo that I'm really sticking to is the logo that they use for Blue Team, the S2 one. I mean, I think it's good that we have this massive selection now of new things that we can play with. I mean, with the uniforms, I mean, with the new armor that's coming out and stuff, I mean, who knows what people will put together and create for themselves some, awesome vibes. I think it'll be a little bit difficult initially because with those rec packs and stuff, you'll get it yourself. And it may take a while for your clan members and the rest of your clan to obtain those
Right. It's more
that specific uniform. But I think this is kind of like this is will pretty much be really helpful, especially for that first that first month of not having Forge. This gives clans something to aim for. This will buy us some time to get all the members on Halo 5, get them into uniforms, work together. It's really just one big initial struggle that we can conquer. It's not like difficult or anything. It's not a challenge. It's more of something that we are allowed to do together as a clan. More of anything, it's bonding with our members, and I think it's a good opportunity to do that. For microtransactions, I mean, I don't like them. I don't think anybody does. I looked at the prices, and they're not that expensive. You don't have to buy them. I know I will, because I don't know. I love Halo, so I usually do that stuff anyways. But I mean, it is what it is. I don't like that Halo is diving into this, but the pricing on this, like even the most expensive reg packs, like $3. And for microtransactions, if you guys have ever played GTA, I mean, they can get fucking expensive. So like $100 for like millions of dollars in GTA. It's ridiculous. But
if I may interject here, I mean,
yeah, but
most expensive I could see someone buying like microtransactions for is by maybe $20, maybe. I mean,
yeah, that was actually my limit. I was gonna do like maybe like a month if I have to, like $20. There you go. Just do that and just see what happens. Don't
and you
like
can get a lot through $20 too.
Oh yeah, oh god, yeah. And we don't know like what the roll is on the really rare items yet. How often we'll get them? We see some of the drops on like Red Dead Live and stuff, but we just need more of an experience and dive into it to really see what's going to happen with it. I mean, so far, I think it's a really good experience for the community to really just kind of dive in and and really just work together as a clan to, get themselves where they want to be. Try out new uniforms, try out new emblems, kind of reformat themselves. This is like a new game, a new opportunity for us to do something different with our clans. So I think it's fun, and it'll be interesting.
All right. What's your opinion on this, ShakeyBionic?
All right. Well, I'm gonna start off with all right, the uniforms. So uniforms, just like every other Halo game, if you like armor requirements, if you don't, it's completely fine. If you like armor requirements, like your own actual uniform, it might be harder for you since you always, like usual, have to unlock armor, and it's at random. So, yeah, that's all I would say to that. Emblems, I'm like 50-50. Like, I don't like how you have to unlock them, because that's just... I just don't agree with it. I think emblems, it represents you. You should just have that right off the bat, like in Halo Reach and Halo MCC. And personally, I don't think, at least my clan won't, at launch have a emblem requirement, because I don't want to make my members play like 100 hours a day just to get an emblem, but it's really up to them. And if we do, we don't really have like a large selection either, because you really can't make your own custom emblems. It's just they're already pre-made for you. So I really don't like the way emblems are going, but yeah. With microtransactions, I don't see any issues with them. I mean, it's just a way for 343 to get some money. Like they said, it's not a lot of money. It's just $3 and $2, and that's for a gold and a silver pack. And personally, me, I don't put a lot of money into DLC or anything like that unless it's like a really good one. So I'm probably not gonna really use it. It doesn't really affect me. But yeah, with requisition packs, is that what they're called?
Requisition packs, yeah.
Yeah. Those, I kind of like what they're doing with it. It's just armor random. It really doesn't matter to me. It's just go with the flow, and I think the vocabulary word of this whole podcast is just adapt, I guess.
Right, adaptation is quite essential in this case, and not. I mean, with the uniforms and everything, I just want to touch base on this. We can do the same thing as we've been doing forever. I mean, you're gonna have, like, for instance, you're gonna have a Air Force uniform or an Army uniform. You go by those and make sure people know what those are, so they can better identify. Like, oh, hey, this guy is a part of this clan's Army or Air Force or whatever. And I will agree with you, Bionic. The thing with the emblems is kind of outrageous, I guess you could say. Maybe that's a little bit of an exaggeration there. But at the same time, it's a way for us to, get used to things. Because not everything is going to be seen as satisfactory in our perspective every time a game is delivered.
Yeah.
Just one thing we have to do is adapt. And you're right, that is the vocabulary word of the day in this podcast, adapt.
All right. So yeah, pretty much I think Phoenix is gone now.
He's a sacrifice for the great journey.
Yeah, sacrifice for the great journey. But didn't we kind of have this problem, like a bit of the problem with the emblems in Halo 4, or they kind of had some emblems locked?
Yeah, we actually did.
Yes.
I think it was with completing challenges, or no, not challenges. What were they called? Commendations, I believe they were. You had to reach a certain level. There was Master, Distinguished, and it also did something like that for the armored sets as well. And I don't think a lot of people like that. And hopefully we do. Well, we're gonna have to see that anyway. What am I thinking?
Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. When I did MIA, when I was working with UNR, one of the things that I felt really proud about is that when we did our emblem, we had to do lasso on Halo 4. And not a lot of people had the lasso emblem for their entire clan, but we made it that's a base requirement, and you have to do lasso, and even to qualify for our group. To me, to reach out and kind of do these different things, I don't know why. Maybe it's just me and my perspective, but I love doing that type of shit, to where you're sitting there you have to earn this stuff in a way that's
but if you're trying to mass recruit, do you want to throw everyone into lasso?
Well, I mean, it would be interesting to see how, if those recruits, if you're aiming for something that's more of a quality-based group, then you're going to want quality members, right? If they aren't willing to sit there and take on a challenge, then why would you want them? If they go in a raid and start getting spawn killing, you don't want them to bitch. You want them to adapt and push forward. That's what you want. Right. And that's just, like I said, maybe it's just me. I don't want to like generalize or anything, but I don't know. Like I like people who are willing to sit there and be like, you know what, this is a bitch, this is hard, but I'm gonna adapt to it and overcome it. Not sit there and cry about it or anything. I'm not pointing at anybody or anything, but just like I said, maybe it's just my perspective.
Well, you do come from UNR, and UNR strives for perfection.
No, they get that from me. No, I'm kidding.
Ah, shit.
Shots fired. I'm gonna
I will give them.
Ling Ling, if you're watching, I love you.
He's gonna kill me.
I will give them the credit for having impeccable media standards, but I don't really see anything they were, contributing for other than the MMP or,
All right. Let's try to save that. Let's try to save that for one of the topics that we have written down. All right, but for the uniforms thing, I believe the only actual clan out, or the community anyways, that actually deals with uniforms is more of the UNSC community when it comes to having the, the Marines, when it comes to having Spartan 2s, S4s, all that, right? I think the
Legionnaires from Roman.
I guess the only thing that really that's going to be affected when it comes to uniforms will be the UNSC or some rare military clan when it that requires certain uniforms, right?
Yeah.
So perhaps it could be a struggle for the UNSC. Vanelli, I believe you're running an S2 group right now, right?
Yes.
Are you gonna Are you gonna make your members or any of your people that you're conscripting right now to wear a certain uniform for
of course, yes.
the S2?
I mean, you gotta understand, I'm making a canon-based group, so if I have them wear ODST Buck S4 uniform, that just wouldn't make any sense. But I am looking at for example, if you've ever read the books and if you ever understand the history of the UNSC and then Spartan 2s, that that certain things are different. For example, you had the Mark IV armor, the Mark V, the Mark VI, and now the Mark VII that we read in some of the books, the later books. So I mean, that armor takes into play into. Perhaps I could use that for a stage, stage 1. You would use Mark IV and have armor or shielding requirements for that said armor piece. Then I'll go to Mark V where you're enhanced a little bit and you have more of some movement. And so to add that in, I could put, okay, you're going to move slower than you would normally and put into combat. How does that affect you? Because you're limited in mobility. You can't move as fast. It means you have to coordinate more as a team and use more tactics. So, I mean, it's all just... You can adapt to anything. You just have to know how to do it.
You gotta have the dedication for it too.
Oh yeah, and that's why with my group, I'm making it so hard to join in these so hard requirements because I want people who are willing to sit down and say, hey, this is gonna be a fucking bitch, but it's gonna be awesome when it's done. That's all I'm looking for, All
right.
And I think that a lot of clans, every clan should have a goal that's not impossible to reach, but extremely hard to reach.
Realistic in a way.
Yeah, it has to be realistic. It can't be I'm going to be the #1 clan in the entire universe. I mean, or the entire planet. It's just,
people back in previous gen, they'd say, "Oh, I'm going to save the community from this clan or whatever."
Yep.
And that was never even a threat or concern.
And it's no, just aim low, aim something that's dedicated to your clan specifically, and that's it.
Right.
That's what you should be aiming for. And it has to be realistic. It has to be logical. It can't be something completely fucking stupid.
Right. And if you want to help others, and that's what.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. If I don't understand what people they can't realize you can sit there and you can help people and still benefit your clan. I mean,
right.
You just reach out to people if you have to, or if people need help, you can help them. I mean, it's not it's not oh hey, this is gonna hurt my clan's reputation because I'll help them. I mean, yeah, it's politics, and I know how that gets. I play.
It's overly involved in the clan community.
I'm a conservative clan leader, so personally, and I had a long talk with Archivex about this and how I see him as more of a liberal clan leader, and he even admits to it. So personally, I don't know. I think clan leaders should build themselves up, and they really shouldn't get help for this sense that if they learn from their own mistakes, like I have, and I guarantee everyone else here has, they will become more successful from a clan, just helping them, giving them everything that they need. So yeah, I'm more of a conservative type leader.
There's some things that we're probably gonna that other clans may need help with. There's other things that we may look at and be like, "Are you fucking stupid? How do you not know how to do this?"
Yeah, advice and guidance. Those things are kind of hard to come by from very successful people.
Yeah.
And just being a somewhat successful person, I mean, it's still well worth giving to another person if you're successful. If you're
It is
successful,
all mindset too. Like you have to have the motivation to do something for your clan. If you're doing this for your clan, you need that motivation and dedication, or you're not going to succeed. You're going to get kicked down. You're going to get thrown around. That's part of being in this community. Everybody's going to go through it.
This
You
community
sit there
is
and just
brutal.
take and adapt to it.
I mean, that's why I no longer see being a neutralist military establishment is going to get me anywhere, because I cannot stay in the middle of everything. I have to pick a side. Everyone does in life.
Yeah.
And
That's, like I've noticed that a lot recently too. A lot of people just like won't get involved, or it's like just if they're your friends, if they're an ally with you, something like that, back them up. Don't cower.
right.
I totally agree with you, Vanelli.
All right, now Vanelli, like we're gonna move this back to the uniforms quickly, but
Okay.
what if like Halo 5 did not have like the armor that you needed to like basically be a Spartan 2?
Well, the last time they did that, which was in Halo 4 for Mark V, the community had a bitch fit uproar, and the only thing that I would have done is I would have adapted to it. It's that simple. Like if you didn't have the armor, okay, how can I approach this differently? For a UNSC that's S2, if we didn't have Mark 6 or Mark 5, how could I adapt to it? Maybe not even just do that designated group. There's others, like I can do an S4 group, do just fine. The only thing that's going to change is the title. And to me, that's whatever. It's just a fucking title. Like, for example, if someone comes up to me and says I'm a colonel in the UN, I'm like, who the fuck cares? You know? I don't give a shit who you are, what your title is, it doesn't matter. But what you can do, that's what matters.
And
I can be a private in, let's say I go to NAVCOM, right? Not just on NAVCOM. If I go to NAVCOM, I'm still Vanali. I'm still this person with all this experience and intelligence in this community.
and influence.
That title doesn't change me at all.
And, another thing is, having influence does matter. If you have a group of supporters that will help you in a situation where it's kind of difficult for you, that's a good thing. And experience you can give to less experienced people, and, I think where I'm trying to go with this is that everything that is within an individual is valuable, because those are raw materials that some people may lack or consist of to a better form. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
I know when after, like, even, this is actually kind of interesting with this context. When the UN and Orda first met, they had this huge conflict. There was like Orda and the Spartan Coalition against the UN, UHR, LOS, and Empire of the Rising Sun. Although the Empire of the Rising Sun really wasn't involved at all. But it was like, the funny thing was is that after Ricky got his ass whooped by me, it was so funny, and I still give him shit about this. Even after the fact that he and I were enemies, we were still able to shake hands, and he's still like a good friend of mine in the community. We were like, enemies to the core. Like, he was the target. He was my target. And now we're like buddy shaking hands. He calls me every now and again, and I call him, and I'm helping out with his clan and with stuff. I mean, just because you go to war with somebody after the war is done, does that mean you can't? I mean, I understand some situations maybe be like a little bit different. That doesn't mean you can't go over there, shake hands with him, and perhaps develop a new relationship with the guy.
I have a perfect example for that. So, now I was an MCC clan, and I pretty much shade on every clan around. Then Z4 came around, and Z4 completely shit on me by using spies, media, and everything like that.
I remember that.
And he had 6 videos dedicated to him shitting on my clan. But now, me and him are raiding UGN together on Minecraft.
Nice.
UGN
So-
on Minecraft.
No. What does that say? Like, we're now on the same side, having fun in some African American tribe uniforms, raiding the UGN, burning down their buildings, and destroying their farms. And then, now what does that say? And it's like myself, Ruck, Miller, and all that kind of stuff. Like, it says, like, although our community is brutal, although we were enemies at the time, we could still, in the end, become friends.
No, I think it says that Minecraft's the only way to communicate.
Yeah, so if H5 fails, I'm moving to Minecraft.
Whatever.
Yeah, I think like Minecraft's the only thing that can make everybody get along.
I'm gonna build Imperialist Rome.
It's like
Until
that.
someone steals your diamonds, then it's just
like
war.
Okay now.
It's all fun and games till someone goes in your chest and steals your diamonds, then it's just fucking war.
Hashtag ages conquered Minecraft.
Hashtag Dividable and Power playing Minecraft.
What are you talking about?
That'd be great.
Aegis will conquer you.
Okay.
All right, it was something funny, but
Okay.
we're moving off.
Hail Kaiser.
Please. Let's move on.
All right.
It'd be funny to see JB and Shadow Sniper share the same house in Minecraft. We
Oh,
know
let's-
Shadow would
let's
be
go.
stealing other shit. We know that's
All right, so we're gonna be moving on to our next topic. Are you guys ready?
Yes, I am. I don't
All
know
right.
about these others.
yeah.
All right, for our next topic, we're going to be talking about Halo Clan media. We're going to talk about basically the past media, the future for media, current media, and we're going to be talking about like the comparison to basically what we could compare to from the past, the present, to the future. So we're going to start with Vanelli. What's your opinion, and what do you want to share about like media?
What specifically? Like, what angle are we approaching this
All right,
from?
well, let's
Is
compare.
it bad, good,
Yeah, let's
word
compare.
bad?
Let's compare the past media to like the current media right now.
I mean, it's evolved, definitely. I mean, people are definitely striving to get more of a better look for their channel, which is nothing wrong with that. I actually like that. It's just like, I would prefer people to, like, yes, do that, but aim to, like, better your knowledge. When I was in the UNR, when Kenny was there, when Seth was there, I mean, the biggest weakness that I had in my, like, entire jack of all trades, because that's where I basically sit in the community, like, as a person. I'm a jack of all trades. I can kind of float anywhere and fit in anywhere just fine, except for media. I was the worst, and I'm like, that's something that I wanted to work on. So I looked at stuff that Kenny was doing, and I was a part of the media team, and I was learning about stuff as I went with it. And it's like right away you're gonna want to use like they're gonna go to some website or talk to some dev guy, whatever, and they're gonna have him make their stuff. But you should like try to like copy that, make a video that's just for yourself, just for practice, and learn how it's done. That way you can just become better with it, better with programs, so that when people come up to you or you go into your client, you're like, oh, hey, yeah, this is a cool idea back then, but now I understand how this works and perhaps I can make it better, rather than just trying to sit there and copy what people are doing. Like, let's say, for an example, people are going to try to copy the UNR's template. It's like, no, just try to think of something that's unique to you and your clan, your ideology, and aim for that. Like, if I was going to do something, I'd make something more intelligence-based. It looks more spy and stuff, The UNR has got more of a news feel to it. Perhaps you want to do some sort of presentation or some sort of military aspect to it. I don't know, like whatever people want to do. But like, I would just say, if you're going to do it and you're going to dive into it, do it with like the intention of bettering yourself so that you can do more with it. And I understand like people may not have the ability to or the computer to actually do it or anything, but it'd be nice to see more people in the community like try to get themselves better at doing other things besides just taking what people have already done and just rolling with that.
Yeah, I can actually relate a lot to that. Now, I've been like really experimenting with like channel art and all that kind of stuff, trying to learn how to do all that kind of stuff, trying to really stay away from other people's help and all that kind of stuff, although I did get help making my YouTube intro. But I also have like I have 3 programs at my disposal. I have a $300 program called Camtasia, if you guys know what that is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have Windows Movie Maker, that's like a cheap one, but I have my capture card, and I just have a whole bunch of stuff at my disposal, and I bought this one program. I have Photoshop and PicMonkey.com, if you guys know what that is. I just use a free trial there. And yeah, I've been really trying to experiment with that, and also my chairman of media in my clan, he's making us montages and all that kind of stuff, and we should be releasing one hopefully next weekend. So yeah, right before the launch of H5.
Well, within our media standards, the Armored Federation consists of commercial-grade products only. So you're going to see a lot of Photoshop work. You're going to see things from, perhaps in the near future, what is it called here? Hang on. I actually have it with me right now. I just had it. It's called Cinema 4D. We have this at our disposal for 3D effects and such. It's kind of like Blender almost, but it's more along the lines of like cinematic works. like in movies. We kind of look at certain things that are commercial grade products, so anything from Adobe or any commercial grade distributor. And we want to use those to our advantage. We want to use the best up-to-date equipment in order to, convey a message through, visuals, audio, and I kind of take a marketing perspective from this. I mean, if you compare the past, present, and what is to come in the future, you can see a fine line with how we progressed in terms of media. I remember when most clan leaders relied on Windows Movie Maker. I try not to rely on that, but whenever I don't have a way to, make things blend together in a liquid movement, I guess you could say, through film, then I may use that. But in other cases where I may just do something like one of my speech videos, I'll use something that's free for the time being, since, I don't use my Roxio HD Capture Pro because, that's a low-grade tech now, in my opinion. So I use something called Xbox DVR, which takes the clips or recordings that you have from Xbox and everything, and it downloads as an MP4 1080p file. Sometimes it may come down to 720p, but that is perfectly fine by me. But in present day time, you have an access to just about anything to make your media look great. And I urge most people to modernize their YouTube videos, I guess you could say. I don't want to see some shitty quality pixelated pictures and some low-grade effects to, make a transition from one point to another within their video, because that doesn't do anything. That doesn't bring any, attention to my eyes. Like, when it comes to making a video, there's a message, and that message should be conveyed in a very vivid fashion. And what I see in the future, we're going to see more diverse programs to, enhance the to enhance the experience for an audience or a viewer, and hopefully we will see some of those programs shoot by us soon. Of course, it's going to have a price tag and such, but there's an illegal way to get those. But I don't condone to that.
Vex, what are you trying to do? What are you trying
What
to
I'm
say?
trying
You're
to
saying we
say
should download
here
stuff
is
illegally.
No, I said I don't condone to that. What I'm saying is that people do that. People often do that. And, there are people like me that have bought the product. And, I just think it would be nice for everyone to get with a program and modernize at their own pace. It doesn't have to be an instantaneous snap to the finger, no hand fix. Oh, I have this great media. Of course, it's going to take time to, get there and everything to look good. But, at least follow us and, modernize yourself when it comes to media, because not everything is going to look all fine and fancy to a group of people when it's the same programs you've been using for several years. That's what I'm trying to get down to. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Good
Now,
vocabulary.
all right. Now, basically, what is it? The UNR probably has one of the best, or it had one of the best media directors in the Halo Clan community. Is that correct, right?
Yeah,
Let's see.
Now, the standard that Kenny set for us, do you believe, that many people could actually achieve that for their kind of media?
I think it's a good goal. We have something to strive for now. We have something that we can look at and be like, you know what, this was good content. This was creative. Now we know what we can do. What abilities are lurking in the shadows that are just beyond our reach that we can start reaching towards. It's possible. We can see it's possible. All we got to do now is figure out a unique angle to approach it from. So.
All right. But within sorry, want to go ahead?
Yeah. I was going to say, knowing our community, I think we might get kind of close, but I don't really think it'll ever reach that kind of expectation, because, that was that was almost professional work, if you know what I mean. And I've only talked to Kenny twice, and each time it was more of an argument form. But from what I know, he's been doing it for years on end. And if we want to start doing it now, we'd probably have to recruit someone into the community instead of us trying to adapt to do that.
people that are willing to, teach others for a price. I mean, that is possible.
Yeah.
Really has the money to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing is, I can agree, yeah, UNR had one of the best of media directors and everything, but it doesn't mean we can, set out in maybe a similar direction as he did for the UNR. I mean, anything is possible, especially over the internet. I mean, you have a disposal and variety to all of these programs we could be using, and just not many people are willing to take the advantage to, dig deep and find them or purchase them, Like I said, I don't condone illegal activity through, piracy or anything. I'm just saying people do that, and,
All right.
Yippers.
Now, I'm not sure if this happened for like any one of you guys with your media, but have anyone like ever compared your media to the UNR and just basically trashed upon your guys' media? Has that ever happened to any one of you?
Actually, I'll admit to, I wasn't necessarily the UNR, but at the early days of SF, I saw the United Forces media. Like, if you guys don't know them, it was led by UF Noble or something like that, and I actually copied his intro because I liked it so much.
All right, now you've obviously probably got criticized from Kenny because Kenny was the United Forces.
Yeah, that was
director.
one of our arguments.
Yeah. Now this happens to me quite a bit because I'm a media guy within the community, obviously, right?
Yep.
Now,
Yippers.
when like this only really happened to the Kick Chat, but a lot of people have compared my media to the UNR. Now, my media compared to the UNR is leagues ahead of me, right? Pretty much we can say that.
Truthfully, yes.
Truthfully, yes. Now, I could actually step up my game through as shown through some of my videos, but is it fair for people to criticize people like me or like you guys and saying that we're like not doing good enough when comparing to the UNR's media?
I think constructful, or however you pronounce that, criticism is good.
Yeah.
But like, I wouldn't trash on their media unless like they did what I did and just blamed out copying them.
Yeah. All right. So looking forward to the future, do you believe like we should have like media that's like better than Kenny's at some point? Like, do you think we'll have like any media that's better than Kenny's for the clan community?
I mean, that'd be good. I mean, I think the best person to really look for in that case is probably Undividable Halo, and I believe his name is literally Dave from like the UGN.
Yeah.
Just like you guys are like the closest. I mean, I think one point or another you guys might surpass Kenny, but I don't know. I don't think we'll ever really beat them unless Kenny returns and helps people. I really don't know.
Now we do have some we have some people that are like growing with media that are actually pretty skilled. I know Vanelli is really good in making some media as well, right?
Getting better.
And then we also got Blasting Light, who is a really good media.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. He's a great guy.
Within the community as well. So potentially we could probably surpass Kenny, and we could probably all learn to at least meet his standards when it comes to making Halo Clan media.
A coalition of media warriors. We can do it.
All right. So does anyone want to talk about like more about the media in the past?
It was hilarious.
Now, did the media in the past like get its job done when it came to stuff
yeah,
like
I would say
slideshows?
so. It kind of there was
Yeah.
a good trend of some like church music though. That was kind of weird, but
Yeah.
the UN.
Yeah.
But then like I remember watching an update, like kind of like a throwback, and like I don't know, John JB. I was like watching one of his videos. He seemed like very like hyped, and he had like church music in the background. It was kind of weird, but I mean, I think it did its job. Yeah, I guess.
And then we had the United Union Federation with more
Oh
Russian.
boy, let me say something about them real quick.
420p images.
Yeah, back then they were quite effective with their media approaches and everything, but it kind of got generic with the same idea over and over. Fucking explosions left and right, tank rally and parades and shit, that got pretty old. And,
Actually, I'd like to bring some of that back, just with more of a cinematic feel, and like
Yeah,
make it feel
but-
more cool instead of cheesy.
and a lot of people would, obviously you're going to have those critics saying, oh, don't copy strike or whatever, and, there are people like that. But I can agree with you, Bionic. It can be, refurbished to look better, but when he did it constantly, I mean, there was just no fucking point in watching it anymore. No offense to any of
I
you.
think,
No.
well, his videos were like thrown together in like 20 minutes. I mean, if you do it well and all that kind of stuff, and you have actually good, like, we're gonna try to do marching, believe it or not, in H5 with Michaelin. We're gonna actually try to get people to march and do all that good shit, but I don't know, that's gonna be more of a struggle, and we're gonna have like cool filters over it, and it's gonna be really badass and cool
Within the Armored
music.
Federation.
No church music.
Like, within the Armored Federation and everything, we're taking a more cinematic approach. We're going to be steady, we're going to have scripting, we're going
Same.
to have as much as we can possibly throw in to give our viewers and our audience the look of what the Armored Federation is, depicted to be, and, not take it so literal, but at the same time, this is how we see ourselves in a way. And, I'm actually working on something right now, and I would like to disclose this. We may use the poem called Invicta, or Invictus, I think it is. We may use that in our first recruitment video that will be kicking off in like next January. And, of course it's going to be like maybe 1 minute and 30 seconds, but that's just one of the very, focused projects that we have within AF Media right now. But I think a lot more people should take time and consideration to, have planning done through a video and not just do something like, just something random like, oh, hey, let's have flying vehicles here and throw tanks here. Like, you need to have a timeline of events take place, and it needs to make sense in order for the message to be clear and conveyed to your audience. Otherwise, it's going to be a brain scatter, as I call it.
So like an organized strike video with more of a cinematic feel.
No.
All right.
With
Alright.
with no 2 steps from hell.
Oh
No
god.
2 steps from
Oh,
hell. That's too
God.
mainstream.
That,
That is too mainstream.
yeah.
I'm using warriors from Imagine Dragons from my recruitment video.
Yeah, that's mainstream as well.
No, it's not.
All right. So we're gonna move on before we move on to the next podcast, I'm just gonna talk about the current media. Do you believe we have enough current media within the HaloClan community? Like, I know we have HaloClanFollowers bringing back this podcast series. Obviously, we have my media doing the interviews, and then now we got Powers Media doing the coffee house.
Don't forget Lay Link's new media.
Yeah, okay, I don't think we should discuss that at all.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Like, my inbox is kind of getting spammed with this stuff, and I'm just... okay.
If I may just say, the media now, professional media, I should say, is quite hard to come by.
Yeah.
And it's almost
I
like a delicacy in my perspective. And it would be great to see more people pursue the dreams of, like what you're doing now, Dividable, in representation of the client community. There isn't really much of that, but you, Power, and quite a few others will do something in sake for, making this community have a good image, I guess you could say, to the people that are not in it. And you do a pretty good job at doing that. And most of it is quite accurate. Not many people in sources, though, like you do or Power does. Not many people have done that. And I would like to see more people delve into a career quite similar to yours or Power's.
Well, I'd say... I think we see a lot more media than we have, because I remember... It wasn't the golden age. It was kind of... It wasn't like now, because personally, I think we're actually starting to get on our feet, personally. But in that middleman, like when Halo 4 came out, where there was like no activity at all. Like none. Zero on Reach, because Exodus wasn't around, MCC wasn't out. It was just like Halo 4. And all we really had was LOS. But in that time, you never saw any YouTube videos or anything about that with the Halo Clan community. Like, you'd have to like watch old videos.
You did see the Metal Uprising in Reach, and they kind of did a few updates here and there.
I know, but like
They
that
took a
wasn't
very
like,
cinematic
community.
approach. It's quite commendable to me. And, I think the cinematics, we don't really have so much of that. Like I said,
Yeah.
We had
there's a lot of
Kasora.
attributes that are hard to come by within the media infrastructure of this community.
Yeah, but I would say, like, where we are today, like in October 11th, I would say we definitely see, well, at least I do, because I'm subscribed to a whole bunch of YouTube channels. I see a lot of media, not necessarily good quality media, but I see a lot of updates for clans. I see clan propaganda against each other and just all that kind of stuff. I think our media is actually doing just fine. But I think we should strive for better quality and all that kind of stuff. But for activity on YouTube, I think it's just going just fine.
All right. Does anyone else want to talk or to bring up a little topic before we move on to the next topic of our podcast?
Nope.
No? All right. So for our next topic of this podcast, we're going to be talking about the military, the UNSC, and the competitive. We're going to be talking about the military, UNSC, and the competitive's future within the Halo Clan community. We're also going to be talking about how the raid styles are going to go for each of these communities, and we're going to be talking about how they interact with one another. Now, Benali, what is your opinion on how the military or the UNSC and the competitive is going to be within the Halo Clan community for Halo 5 or whatever future we have in store?
Well, we know Halo 5 is definitely more of a competitive style. I think it'd be very interesting, to be honest, to kind of dip into that just a little bit, not like go overboard with it. But we have that new playlist, that elimination that's basically Team TAC. To be honest, it'd be very interesting to see the UNSC and military clans kind of do clan battles on those too, to kind of add a little competitive to it and kind of get into some real brass skill and ability. And I'm not so much, they'll probably aim for their dream teams and stuff, more than likely, but it'd be really interesting to see some clans kind of dive into that a little bit and see, or if clans would dive into that. So I think that's, for the competitive portion, I think that'd be pretty interesting. If Warzone allows for set teams on each side, that would be pretty cool too. If for example, we could all go in there and it'd be Joseph's clan against Bionic's clan in Warzone. That would be pretty interesting to see too. I know it's not technically competitive, but it kind of is too at the same time. I don't know. So I think it'd be really interesting to see that if that was a thing. As for, raid style, I mean, I think we should look at, we talked about this earlier, look at different things and architects. I'll send you a document, actually, I want you to look at that I had back in the day that perhaps you might enjoy.
Definitely.
I think we should look at it. I mean, this is a whole new game. We have whole new features that we can dive into, and we should take our experiences from the past, not forget about it, but let's not hold back the possibilities of our future because of what we're used to in the past. Let's try something new. Let's experiment. Let's reach out and try something that's completely different. For a little bit. We have that month before Forge comes out. Let's have some fun. Let's try some stuff.
Not to mention, a really cool thing would be if you could do, joint training or, joint operations on Warzone. I mean, that's one thing I would like to see.
Oh yeah, I would. If Warzone could be put into this community, I would fucking love everything. Because Warzone.
It's not custom games though.
Yeah, I know it's not, which sucks. But I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, overall, I think it's just. I guess kind of was the last point too with interaction. I mean, it's just like overall, we need to try something new. We can't sit there and just border off our territory and just sitting there with our guns, just hoping and waiting for someone to cross into our borders for something to shoot at. Let's try something. Let's reach out to other clans and say, hey, let's do a mock battle, or let's do a practice raid or something.
Yeah.
What's a mock battle?
A mock battle is just a fake. Well, not really fake, I guess. I guess you could call it fake. It's like an enactment, I guess you could say, of what would be a war.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, Bionic, what is your opinion on the military UNSC / competitive future, the raiding style, and how they're going to be interacting? Okay.
Well, to start off, I think UNSC is going to take a huge blow because, they don't have Marine uniforms. They don't have, I don't think there's like an S2 helmet or anything like that. And all that kind of stuff. And I know there's ODSC, but I just think they're going to take a huge hit and all that kind of stuff. Especially NavCom, because I know they really like their uniforms.
If
and
I
all
may
that kind of
interrupt,
stuff.
they do actually have a
Yeah.
Mark IV helmet rumored to come out, according to Joshua 029 from the HaloClanFollowers chat that just opened up today from beta. He said there would be a Mark IV helmet.
That would be awesome, because Mark IV looks so great.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
But anyway, if it does come out, I guess that's a positive. But I just really think UNSC is going to take a huge blow, and I watched Power's video about this, and I agree with all his points. Like, I don't know, like, they have, like, less guys, and they really don't focus on mass recruiting like military clans. But, with Forge getting delayed, I think just about everywhere, it's going to take a huge blow, even for competitive, because I know, one of my buddies, Shaky Jerker, I remember talking to him in H4, and they used to actually go on in, like, custom games into, like, a Forge map, and they used to practice callouts and all that kind of stuff, and, so, I'm not sure if they still do that, but if so, they might take a mini blow to that, but other than that, competitives could probably do the best, with military clans, they're kind of special in the sense, because military clans can adapt easier than UNSC clans, so I think military clans will also do just fine. UNSC clans are gonna take a blow.
If I may oppose your opinion here, Bionic, any clan
Sure.
is able to adapt. There is no current condition through any environment. I mean, everyone is going to strive in their own way, and they're going to thrive in the end, at the end of their endeavor. And, you may say that the UNSC is going to take a big blow, but what do you think the UNSC community will do to, prolong their continuity in a way? Of course, they're going to adapt with uniforms and such. Everyone is going to adapt regardless. Maybe not in the way as we expect them to, but maybe in a way that is unthinkable.
I think definitely they're gonna adapt one way or another. I just think they're gonna bitch a little bit more than the military clans.
I think no district of our clan community is really at a certain danger at this moment. I think it's just all in the mix of where we have to, I guess you could say, acknowledge new things, differences that we have never, experienced before. I mean, everyone is going to have their fair share of struggles and, ways of seeing things differently. And honestly, the UNSC community, I mean, I think they're going to do as well as they always have. I think the military community is going to do as well as they always have. But certain exceptions, like the Sang Healy community, there was something like a hashtag going on 343's Twitter page today saying, bring back elites, or whatever. Hashtag bring back elites.
Well, Halo 5 has gone gold, so we have to just hope in DLC. But the Zhang Healy community, that is actually a
They
sacrifice
are
for the
the
great
only
journey.
one in jeopardy, really.
Yeah, there's sacrifices for the great journey.
All right.
Take no offense to that. I mean, of course there will be a game certain to come out one day. Maybe not now, but
For the Zhang Squillies?
I guess.
I doubt that, to be honest, because the people that I've talked to who really get into the lore stuff, I mean, yeah, they love saying Heelys, but they don't love them that much. It's not like where an entire game is dedicated. I think it'd be cool to have like an expansion for it,
Yeah.
But that would be like the extent of it.
To be honest, I never really cared for Zhang Squilly clans. They're just always there.
I could see a limited gameplay as one, but not constant gameplay as one,
All right. Archivix, I believe you kind of covered it when joining in on the conversation, but what do you believe the military, UNSC, competitive, and the hold for the future, the raid styles, and their interactions?
Shit. That's a very big answer I am going to give you here. I think, like I just said, I think every single district is going to thrive in their own way, and it's going to take a while for them to do that because there are a few difficulties and obstacles that we will have to, break in terms of, getting to a point where we feel comfortable or successful. And, there is no shame in saying that, this is going to be a bumpy road for all of us here. I mean, it's a new thing. Of course, it's going to be different and challenging in some attribute. But I think everyone in the end, they will be comfortable to an extent.
All right. So I'm gonna briefly bring this up. We didn't really go off in this topic, but the interactions between the military, the UNSC, and the competitive. Now, generally, back in the day, I'm gonna say I sound like a bit old person, but back in the day,
I feel
Back in my day.
Back in the day, we constantly had the military usually competing with the competitive, or the competitive mostly kind of like competed with the military, or just kind of trolled us, right? Later on, when the UNSC community rose, we had the military competing with the UNSC, as shown through the Triad versus the SDA war, and we still technically had the competitive just bothering both sides. How do you believe the interactions is going to be? Do you believe the competitive is still going to bother the military and the UNSC? Do you think there's still going to be a rival between the military and the UNSC?
I'd like to bring up something real quick. Funny that you bring that up. I was checking Kick today, and I think there's this one guy. He's been like the MCC community. He's been just about everywhere. It's like Halo 2 wins or something like that.
Yeah.
He posted something in the Kick chat saying,
Okay.
it was like a message from like a screenshot from Xbox and that kind of stuff. And I Love a Joker sent him a message saying, would you like to be conquered or something like that by Joker Nation? So if they are really back, Joker Nation, I think the answer is yes, they are going to bother just about everyone.
Yeah, well, for clans like the Armored Federation and you, ShakeyBionic, and probably any other clan community member that is affiliated with the clan, they aren't going to give in so easily as previous generation and current generation of people would. What I mean by current generation, people like myself, Mike, Dividable, but the newer generation, I'm pretty sure, like, they may be susceptible of being bothered by them, honestly, because, they're new people. They don't really have a familiar outlook on what people will do to, bother you or make you feel uncomfortable. But I think, as a word of advice, people should, stay clear and be very vigilant of their surroundings when it comes to affiliating with new individuals.
All right. Now, Power, do you have anything about this interaction stuff? I know you try to stay away from stuff like this, right?
really.
Yeah, Power.
Or not Power. Oh my God! I'm gonna kill
Power,
you.
please answer.
You're done. You
Oh,
are
no.
done. I will end you.
Sorry, Panther. God damn it! I'm gonna send you $5 over PayPal for that.
You won't.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, you should send me like 5 too.
You should do it to everyone here.
no, I'm sending it. It's Canadian, by the way. So accept
Oh,
my
who cares? I'll
transaction.
get Canadian money. I've never seen Canadian money in my
Okay.
life.
Actually, I had like Canadian dollars in my basement that I lost.
You know what?
I think I heard it
Could
was
I-
like
I have
$100.
seen Canadian coins, but not anything paper.
You know what? Could I just add Power here so that way he could just he could answer
He's
the
in his
questions?
own podcast right now.
Yeah, I
By the way,
think-
viewers, as this is going on, there's another podcast going on Power's channel.
Yeah.
So
I'm just gonna add Power to like next podcast. Everyone that Vinali's
Disturb
in.
him.
Okay, you know what?
let's
Don't-
do a merge podcast.
Joseph, from now on, every time you call me Power, I'm going to call you Stalin. So it'll be Joseph Stalin from now.
Aw,
Okay.
shit,
Oh
aw,
Yeah, I'd like
shit.
to make an apologize to you
Yeah,
about that.
let's play this game. Let's do it.
Are you really
I wanna
comparing
play
Power
game.
to Stalin?
Okay, so Stalin, what was your question?
Alright, Ling Ling Killer, please continue. Oh,
We gotta call JB that.
No, you're Joseph Stalin. That's how it's gonna roll. If every time you call me Power, it's gonna be called Stalin for
It's
you.
alright.
So Stalin, what was the question?
I can accept that. All right, now Vinali,
Joseph,
Panther 13.
dividable.
You didn't really weigh in on much of this military slash UNSC slash.
UNSC is what I just heard.
Yeah, dude, I can't talk right now. I'm laughing. But you didn't really weigh in much on the military, UNSC, and the competitive stuff. Now I know you try to stay away from this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, I tried to.
Now, what is your opinion? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think the military is still going to be at it with UNSC, and pretty much we can all?
I mean, I hope so. I mean, just think of it like this. It's like we're all in the community together. Regardless of our differences, UNSC military is still in the same fucking community. So, the fact that they're bashing one another is just healthy, I mean, think about it. Like, in the Marines, they don't bash the army because they're, well, I mean, they do because it's their army, but they do it out of just friendship. And we're on the same side. We give each other shit, but it's not so much out of, like, pure hatred. It's just poking fun. Trying to get a response out of people. It's just, people just make a big deal out of shit, out of the little stupid shit and lose their mind over it. And it's whatever. I mean, people are all different and shit, but, I mean, I don't see the point in freaking out over one little, situation.
Like a name.
Yeah, like, just because someone else may have the same gamer tag style as me and that maybe in the military, should I lose my shit? No, fuck that shit. Who gives a fuck? I mean, just, I don't see how people can get so butthurt over the littlest things.
Alright. I believe we're going to be moving on to our next topic. The last topic of this.
Oh, shit.
Alright. Now, we're going to be talking about Reach here. A lot more about Reach. So, with the backwards compatibility being here for November, and pretty much Halo 5 Forge being delayed, do you believe that the Reach community is still going to be standing, and do you believe a lot of the clans are going to stay on Reach till, basically, the Forge system is put in for Halo 5? And we're going to start with Vanelli.
So, if Forge is going to be what?
Now, since Forge is being delayed, do you believe, like, a lot of people are still going to stay on Reach?
I don't know why they should. To be honest, like, if you're going to move to Halo 5, you take this opportunity of this delay to your advantage. I mean, it's just that simple. Just don't sit there and be like, oh, I'm not going to be on Halo 5 because there's something on it that I don't agree with until another month. Just take the advantage of something that may be used against you and turn it around to your advantage. This is basic, like, any person who studies military tactics and strategy. I'm not saying you're going to win every single game, but you should look at the objective, the scenario, and see, okay, this is being used to my disadvantage because I can't forge maps right away. How can I turn this into an advantage to where I can use this to my advantage and benefit my clan? In the best way that you possibly can. That's all you can do. And don't, like, I don't know why people want to, like, use Reach so much. The combat, in my opinion, is just too slow and not fun. I mean, again, that's my perspective. I like faster paced games. I like games like Titanfall, like Destiny, where it's fast paced, where you're always in combat, or the Star Wars Battlefront, where you're just constantly doing stuff. I like that type of stuff. I don't like Reach where you have that moment of respite. I like to be constantly pressured in combat. Like, that's just, again, my perspective, but I don't know. Like, I just think that people just need to adapt, get used to it. Just stop using Reach to your fucking getaway.
Not to mention, it's also a way that it's dividing the community, basically.
Yeah.
Where people are apparently not relevant because the MCC community, let me just say something. A lot of clans were on there. The UNR was on there, Orta was on there. At a point, I was on there. And all of these people, because something did come to my attention today, and I'm not going to make it a certain grudge, but certain people will say, someone's irrelevant. No, I'm not going to go there. But what I would like to say is that people within the community are being divided by console and game. We need to prevent that from happening any further down the line because it will just worsen the conditions of this clan community. Period.
But with backwards compatibility, wouldn't it be a lot more connected then?
Oh, man.
Whoa. I do see some potential in that being executed amongst clans. It is kind of like a portal, I guess you could say. I do see that.
The advantage that I use is for my group is that instead of like moving my clan onto Reach, there's content on Reach that's not going to be available on Halo 5. My training sessions initially start on Reach. We go to MCC and then we move to Halo 5 because there's content on those games that's not on Halo 5 that is still Halo. So I mean, like, the training on Reach that you may have on there may be still relevant. You can still use it. Perhaps if you want to make it on Halo 5 and make it a little more advanced or whatever, but my group initially starts off on Halo Reach because there's training on there and stuff I can use until Halo 5. Because I know my group starts in November. Okay, that's the start update for my group.
Right.
My initial step is there's things on there in Forge World that I can use to my advantage. If it's available on Halo 5, I will use it on Halo 5.
Yeah.
But, overall, I mean, my first class does start on Reach until I can get my stuff set up on Halo 5.
Alright.
But I won't sit there and do clan matches on Reach and stay there and make it my home.
Yeah.
It's just,
And-
a stepping stone or
You
something
know-
to step off of.
I did mention previously that Halo Reach in certain games that will be supplied from backwards compatibility will be a way for us to pass time and revisit some of the greatest gaming adventures that we have pursued on previous gen console while we wait for Halo 5 Forge, did I not? Well, another thing I would like to say is that, there are ups and downs in this case. I guess you could say, you're going to see a lot of people in different places. That could be bad. But then again, you have this beauty of, this feature being presented to the Xbox One community of us, going back to great games. Like, personally, I would go back to Armored Core if I could, but, that won't be on there. But anyways, I'm getting, irrelevant here. But honestly, I do see ups and downs in this case for the whole community when backwards compatibility is being implemented within. Although it is kind of like a middle ground, I guess you could see it as.
Alright. What I'd say is, with Halo 5, I can say most clans, I guarantee every clan at least considered moving to H5, and I would say most clans are moving to H5. Forge, like Vanelli said, I'd move over there, just adapt until Forge comes out, because clans that are already over there are gonna already have a good start for recruiting and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, on Halo Reach, for backwards compatibility, you need a source of recruits and all that kind of stuff. And be honest, I don't think people, just an everyday soldier, an everyday casual player, is gonna get the Xbox One just to play Reach. I don't think you're gonna see that you're not gonna find recruits on Halo Reach. All you're gonna find is just other clan members, and it's gonna be a big form of poaching on that game for backwards compatibility. Because everyone that's moving over from 360 to Xbox One, is gonna get Halo 5 Guardians. They're not gonna be playing Reach on Xbox One just because of backwards compatibility, except for maybe 3 people. And other than that, it's just gonna be a whole bunch of just clan people forcing their members to get Halo Reach for the Xbox One.
And that is something I would not like to see.
No one would. I think we just need to stick to Halo 5 Guardians and adapt, and just wait for Forge. So yeah.
Alright. Now, there have been leaked images, or I'm not sure if it's leaked or if it's just fake, of Halo Reach Anniversary. Now, it said for 2017. Now, that's highly unlikely, right? Do you believe that there's going to be a Halo Reach Anniversary?
I hope it's
I think
just remade, to be honest. I don't want, the canon in that game is just terrible. It's not even accurate in any way relative to the books. And it just pisses me off. Fred and I were just talking, or Fred from Nowspec4 and I were just talking about that. Because it's not accurate. And I just wish that if they're going to approach this, they're going to do it with the care that they've done with everything else. Admit that Halo Reach, canon-wise, is not accurate. And just redo everything. Start from scratch. If you want to use S3s, put it on Onyx. Because that would be way more accurate than Reach. So, that's just my 2 cents. Because I cannot stand how inaccurate Halo Reach is. It drives me.
My opinion, I think I know who actually posted it. I think it was Commando Arc, actually, who posted it. But, I was talking to Heroic Miller about it, and we weren't 100% sure, and I looked it up, and I couldn't find any info on it. I couldn't even find that same picture, so I think it's all just a big lie. But if it were to happen, I don't think Len's gonna move back to it, because by then, I guarantee not Halo 6 would be out, but there'd already be a big and striving community on Halo 5 Guardians if everything goes well. And no one will really have a need to go back unless it's just for old memory's sake. And
now,
yeah,
if it's an anniversary, it'd probably have its own title game, so it'd possibly be a next game.
Yeah, but I think there ought to be a community striving on Halo 5 Guardians in order to really want to come back to Halo Reach.
Alright. Does anyone else want to talk more about the Halo Reach / Halo Anniversary Reach topic?
I think I'm done here.
Vanelli, you all good?
I'm good.
All good in the hood? How about
Yep.
you, ShakeyBionic? Or Z4
Oh,
Bros?
no, I'm fine.
All right.
Z4, Bionic, same thing.
All right. I believe that's all we have for the topics of this podcast so far. So I'm just gonna end it off right here, giving you guys some thank yous for joining us. So we'd like to thank you, Panther13 Benally, for joining us on this podcast.
Yep.
We'd like to thank you, Z4 Bros or
Yep.
ShakeyBionic, for joining us on this
Z4
podcast.
Bros. I'd rather have that, and I'm glad to come.
We'd like to thank you, Archivex. Too bad you don't have another name, but thank you, Archivex.
Actually, I do, actually. Why am I using actually?
His
twice?
real name's Archivex.
Arceus the Seventh is also one alias I did go by.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
It's been quite a privilege to be here a second time, and I hope to come back soon.
I don't think you were here on the second time, or your
No, I
first
mean
time at
the
all.
interview that you did with me. I mean
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the second visit ever on one of your videos. So I look forward to coming back because this was actually fun.
Yeah, no problem. Now, if anyone who is watching this video have any suggestions for the next podcast, be sure to leave it down in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to like it up. If you have any comments or suggestions about these topics, go ahead and leave it down in the comments. Other than that, I am Dividable Halo HD, or as I go by John S117MC, and that is it for this video.
Hell Kaiser.
All right,
There you
guys.
go.
We'll talk to you guys all later. Bye.
All right, guys, take care.